For decades, the sub-2-hour marathon was basically the 4-minute mile of our generation, trying to break 2 hours. Something that some thought was possible. Some probably did not think it was possible, although we got close. But at this year's 2026 London Marathon, we didn't just see one guy break 2 hours. We actually saw two, and we saw three break the previous world record. And the record, it wasn't just edged out. It was smashed by all accounts, by how we look at records. This wasn't just a fast race. This was the biggest leap forward that we've seen in distance running in a long, long time. Welcome back to the I Don't Know Running podcast, where we share our experiences that make running fun and sometimes not so fun. I'm Lewis.
And I'm Mitch.
We have an exciting episode of Records and More today. So let's get into actually what happened.
I think it's interesting when we say crush and people say, oh, only a minute. When we see these records go down, it's usually by seconds.
Yeah.
So like a minute is crushing.
Before, like 20 seconds was crushing.
Yeah.
You would beat it maybe like 5 seconds, and that was okay. You eked them out. So if it was like a 20, 25 second break, or, you broke it by 20, 25 seconds, you crushed it. This was by more than a minute, right?
Yeah.
Minute and 5 or something like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, Sabastian Sawe. Well, first of all, let's start with, let's just say the men's results. Sabastian Sawe from Kenya, ran 1:59:30. So it's the first official sub-2-hour marathon. And a mere 11 seconds later, we had the second sub-2-hour marathon ever. He set the world record. Yomif Kejelcha came in.
He was 11 seconds behind.
Yeah. Yomif came in second from Ethiopia with a 1:59:41, becoming the second man ever in a race to break 2 hours.
In the same race.
And then, by the way, it was his first ever marathon. Don't forget that.
That's pretty legit right there.
And then, what do I want to say? Jacob Kiplimo, basically the slow guy, breaks the previous world record with a 2 hour and 28 second performance, gets third.
Which we talked about this because we did a episode talking about his half marathon like twice.
Yeah.
Because we talked about the debacle where he drafted not his fault, but he drafted the pace car.
Yeah.
Or the camera car or whatever.
He got penalized for being too close to the pace car.
Yeah. It still stands as the fastest known half marathon, just on a world record.
Yeah.
And then he came back and he beat it. So he went back and we talked about him again. And we said at that time, he's running London. This is going to be interesting.
Yeah.
Like thinking he's going to win. Well, and if those other two guys wouldn't have showed up, he would have won. Who knows?
Yeah. And it was interesting. I don't remember. I watched some news on it, and I don't remember if he was the favorite or not. Like Sawe was, like Kejelcha, all three of them. I don't know that one was specifically like the favorite. They were all set to just crush it.
Yeah.
They were all, and I think, as you said before we started recording, the fact that those three were running together is probably why this happened.
Yeah.
You took these three at this class and this level and put them together, and this is what you get.
I just like that. In any other year in history, Kejelcha just became the greatest marathon ever, and he got second.
Yeah.
Like, basically, like,
crazy.
You would think he can only go up from here.
Yeah. But he's second. And then we had the women's race, which was also a very good race.
Crazy. It still is. Like, 3 women under 216 in the same race is pretty amazing.
Yeah. I do not know how to say this woman's first name. Tigst Asifa from Ethiopia, 2:15:41.
A new women-only record.
Yeah. So they started the women a half hour before. So this is considered a actual women's race. And so she set the new world record for a women-only race. 2:15:41. Helen Obira from Kenya took second at 2:15:53. That was her PB, her personal best. And then Jocelyn, you know what? I think we have said her name, and I probably...
You probably Googled it and had a pronunciation. We're
Jepkowski, I don't know, from Kenya also.
We really try to pronounce these things. You especially try to pronounce them, and they're tough.
Yeah. It's funny because if you watch enough, you do pick up how to say them by people that do know how to say it. But then
not us.
I did not catch third place on this one. Anyway, she ran 2:15:55. And as Mitch said, 3 women under 2:16. And what's crazy is the race was a warm race. Like everything was good, except for if they were going to say anything, I heard said it was just a touch on the warm side. But that could be like, 5 degrees. So not terrible. It's not like it was 80 or anything like that. Yeah, it does get into who shows up for the men's race. The lead pack, Sawe, Kejelcha, and Kiplimo together through the first 20K. They had this is cool, a half marathon split of 1 hour and 29 seconds. That's crazy.
To think that at that point, they're going to be under 2.
Yeah. They had to make up some time.
Yeah.
Which is normal. To me, I don't know. I don't think
58 seconds?
Well, I mean the 29 to get under 2.
Yeah.
Just to break 2. That's a second faster, just a touch over a second faster per mile in the second half, which is a good race strategy for a marathon. You should try to lay out a race to negative split, depending on the course. If it is a massive uphill, of course you're not going to, but
maybe
if you really took it easy on the first half.
You walk the first half.
So Sawe negative split the second half with a 59:01. Man, that is just insane.
Well, he just warmed up in the first half.
Yeah. And then crushed the second. The women's race was similar in that Asifa Obiri and Jepkowski. Man, I'm sure once I hear that name, I'm going to go, oh, yeah, of course that's it. We're locked in early. This is insane to me also because these they're just fast. Like these women, these runners, these elites are just fast. 10-kilometer split of 31:03. Man, that's fast.
And they ran together pretty much the whole way.
Yeah.
Until the final mile.
Yeah, which is crazy. And then you go, it says Asifa breaks away in the last 400 meters. So the 26.2 miles comes down to a 400-meter sprint. It's nuts.
But again, you got to wonder, they helped each other by running together.
Yeah.
For sure.
For sure. Then we get into, I think this is kind of neat. We've talked about, or not say we, but like the running world has talked about breaking 2 hours for quite a while. Like, when is that going to happen in and is it ever going to happen in a race?
Well, so much that Nike put together that whole project just to prove it could be done.
Which the first time
didn't work.
Didn't work. And they had everything going for them. Yeah. So, the first one was 1:59:40 that they tried that. And then, the first one was 2 hours 25, and then they went 1:59:40, and they added a pace car. Yeah, they said that wasn't enough. Let's put a pace car out in front to help.
with a little laser pointer on the road.
And rotating pacers. So now no longer was it just, however many pacers it had that were like maybe falling off or something. Like, I don't know. Or maybe they were subbing in at the half.
I saw,
I don't
we had
remember.
somewhere in the notes, I don't know where it went, but there was like how many Pacers they had. It was like 16 different Pacers or something like that. It was kind of crazy.
Yeah, which, by the way, doesn't take away from the performance. I mean, that's still hard.
He had to do it.
Yeah. It's still insane.
Yeah.
And then he goes on to say, the lab, and they're talking about the lab versus the street here. So in Sawe's performance, this is funny, the 159 club. Yeah, there's 2 people in it. Well, technically 3, I guess, but really in a race, there's only 2.
Yeah.
2 runners under 2 hours. 3rd place still fast enough to break the previous world record. It does go to show how insane of a performance this was when you compare it to the quote-unquote lab and what they had to do to get Kipchoge under 2. And then it goes into a little bit of the technology and the performance debate, which is quite interesting. The Kipchoge attempt was all put together by Nike, and Nike dominated for a long time in performance, the performance shoe to wear.
If you line up at a race, how many you typically see somebody wearing Nikes? Like the super shoes are all Nikes.
Yeah.
I wonder how much this changes now.
Well, it did, because I said 8 out of the top 10, but I don't know if it was 8. But it was the vast majority of the top 10 at London were Adidas.
And that's what the Adidas...
Adizero Adios Pro Evo 3. That's a super simple name of a shoe.
Yeah. 97 grams.
Man.
Lighter than a bar of soap.
That is crazy. I think that's like half of what Nike's best shoe is right now.
I'm sure they're going to cry foul.
I think it's good for 26.2 miles. You got one shot.
So,
and then you pitch them.
A friend at work, we're having coffee the other morning, and he said something about, he's trying to qualify for Boston at Bayshore. And he's thinking about buying those shoes. I'm like, man, that's the best sales pitch right here.
Man, that is crazy. And it is crazy when you look at the top finishers at that race.
Yeah.
And what they were wearing.
Yeah.
The other thing they talk about is nutrition. Sawe was fueling with about 120 grams of carbs per hour and used Morton, Maurten, hydrogel fuel. I've had that, and it's disgusting. We're not sponsored by them, so I can say that.
Makes you want to...
If they sponsor us, I'll say it's great. No, I'm kidding. It's bad. But doesn't matter. It works.
Yeah, it doesn't have to taste. It doesn't have to taste good.
And it's about... He was fueling with about twice the normal, which we figured was 60 to 90. We looked up 60 to 90.
Good thing he's only going 2 hours, because I have to stop and use the bathroom.
No kidding. They got it easy. They get it done in 2 hours.
You see him at the end. He's just kind of sitting on the curb like, I don't know.
He weighs 80 pounds probably, though. He's not carrying any extra.
Oh, man.
The drafting reality, no rotation of pacers, nothing like that. But a pack of runners still saves about 2% of energy. So they're, depending on, who's at the front, who's leading, who's taking turns. Are they taking turns? Are they playing nice? Because, were they rotating, or was there did Sawe feel good and he just led? I don't know. I didn't see it that close, but there is something to running in a pack. You do save energy. I mean, that's why the Peloton and Tour de France can go as fast as it does for as long as it does.
Oh, yeah.
Because they're all drafting together, all taking turns, that kind of a thing. So it does save energy. Then they're just doing some comparisons by eras. I don't know about this barefoot one, but Paula Radcliffe's 2:15 2025, mixed pacing in 2003.
That's a long time ago at this
It's
point.
long enough that you can't go 20. You can't start it with 20.
20-3.
20-3. Are these athletes better or just better equipped?
I think it's all of that. You think about
both.
I mean, obviously technology makes a huge difference. They wouldn't I don't think they'd be doing it without the shoes, but the training is better, the nutrition is better. They know more, they've learned from what people have done.
And think about, I don't know how many years you got to go back, probably 40-ish, if I had to guess, just 40, 50 years. They didn't, number one, have the sponsors that today's athletes do. They weren't making the money that today's athletes do. And I think those are good things to propel the sport forward.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying they're bad things, but I do think that are they, well, I'll say this. I think they're trained better and better equipped. To say they're better athletes, who knows? Because we'll never be able to put those athletes from that era in today's training. Right. So who knows? You know, that's I don't think you can make that leap. Better trained, yes. Better equipped, 100%. Doesn't matter how we got here or just that we got here. I think it matters. I mean, you're not going to go and like kill babies to get here, right? So it does matter. Like, it's not at any expense, but
yeah, that's an interesting statement though, for sure. I mean, I think it matters. I think it does matter.
Yeah, it matters. I'm glad we're not doing that to get here, but at what expense?
Killing the environment, you know.
Yeah, those kinds of things.
Eating out of the old McDonald's styrofoam containers, throwing it in a ditch.
It's true. What did I just see? Oh shoot, what race was it? Because of this, I was looking up some other things, and I saw there was this quote, like, back in the day, there was a popular race, maybe it was the Tour de France. When it came through an area, they would stop at just cafes and get food along the way. Like before all this.
That sounds more like a tour to me.
Yeah. That's the Tour de France.
Right.
Before it was a big race is what it is. So yeah. And then they're just going into the legitimacy of this. This is quite interesting, actually. Well, this is normal. Number one, World Athletics will verify course measurement, drug testing, and shoe compliance. Max stack height of 40 millimeters. Okay, yep, that's normal. Like, they would do that. But this was interesting. Sawe reportedly paid $50,000 for additional testing because he knew what this would look like and he got ahead of it.
I'm curious about that. Like, that's interesting.
Yeah. The concern, if you compare this to Ruth Chepengedich, the 2024 Chicago Marathon winner, banned in 2025 for a substance she admitted to taking. However, we looked it up.
And her record still stands because they tested her like months after the race.
Yeah.
So there's no tie.
They didn't take it away or anything like that. She holds it. All's good. I do remember discussing that, though. I don't remember why we discussed it or what it was about, but I do remember discussing it.
Yeah, she was like, what? I had it written down here somewhere, 209.
Yeah, which is nuts. Why is that not the world record then? Did they take that?
Because it was a mixed race.
Oh, that's right.
She had male pacers.
That's right. Did she have male pacers or was she just running?
Running with men.
Okay. So there's a potential she could have, but she could have also just been, well, all the women would have just been running the race. So, So yeah, sub 2 hours is no longer theoretical. It's done. We have broke 2 hours in the marathon, which is awesome. I think it's amazing. And while everybody was focused on London, on history being set, like this London Marathon will go down as the marathon that broke 2 hours. But that's not all that was happening. I think this is, if at least locally, I think this is really exciting. I think this is neat. Well, partly too because
we paced that
race. Probably could have paced this guy to even faster, but
I could have helped.
But at any rate, a 25-year-old with no coach, no shoe deal, working part-time at a running store, showed up to Glass City Marathon in Toledo, Ohio, and ran a 2:05:54.
And it was his first marathon ever.
His first marathon.
He's nobody.
Yeah,
nobody.
Essentially, he was a nobody. Yeah.
And now I want to know, what kind of deals is he getting now?
His name is Vinny Mauri, Mauri. I could be pronouncing that wrong. It's Italian, I think. I saw. No, maybe not.
I don't know.
Something. Maybe it's Spanish. I don't know. Mauri, 2:05:54. His debut marathon, 4th fastest in American marathon history. That is insane. There's a really cool write-up in Runner's World if you search Glass City Marathon record. It's pretty cool, but these are some highlights. Number one, talk about a tough way to do it. He won by 5th. So London, there were 3 of them working together essentially, like pushing each other, getting each other. We talked about it. Like, this probably doesn't happen if you don't have somebody pushing.
Right. Maybe he could have been the third Sub-2.
I know. That's what I'm thinking. He won by 15 plus minutes.
I mean, it's only 6 more minutes.
Oh, my goodness. He ran basically solo from the start. Dropped everybody by mile 1. Can you imagine, like, you showed up and you didn't know this guy? Like, because a lot of people didn't know him. And you're an elite runner and you run like a 2:10, 2:12 or 2:15. You know, that's fast, right? And you show up and you don't know this guy and he takes off. You're probably looking at him like, who's this dude? He's gonna drop. Meanwhile, he's dropping you at mile 1. Like, what is going on? And you're like, oh, I'm gonna smoke him at mile 5. And it just never shows up.
I want to see the footage from the beginning of the race. Where did this guy line up then? You know, like, did he know? He had to know he had talent.
He did. The write-up in Runner's World said he was a solid collegiate athlete for running. I think they said he took like 68th in the cross-country world championships, which that's good. Like, you say 68th, but we're talking the world here, the biggest, all the best runners. So he was good, but then he got I'm trying to think. He was running and just never really couldn't quite get there. He was elite level and he was getting coached and he just never quite could get there. So he quit, moved back home and started working at this running store and just started doing his own training, just started putting it together. And then shows up. Call back to last week. This is interesting. He was actually signed up to do the Carmel Marathon. Carmel. I like Carmel. The Caramel Marathon. He was actually signed up to do the Carmel Marathon. Race got pushed back, as we mentioned last week, for 6 weeks due to the weather. He had to pivot, chose Glass City. He said the extra week of taper actually helped him feel better going into the race. So, Carmel, thank you for canceling.
Sorry, Pete.
But it allowed Vinny to be the 4th fastest American marathon debut ever.
I like the list of names, too.
Yeah. He's in good company there. I'm surprised Galen Rupp is 5th at 2:06. And it's interesting to not see, I can't think of his name now. But yeah, anyway, Connor Mantz. So these are the top 5 American all-time marathon times. Wait, is that he's the fastest debut American, period. Mm-hmm. And he's the 4th fastest ever, right?
Yep.
Connor Mantz first, 2:04:43. Khalid Kanauchi, 2:05:38. Zohair Talbi, 2:05:45. Vinny Mauri at 2:05:54. Galen Rupp at 2:06:07. So yeah, he is amongst Olympians.
So he still needs to run. Do you think he still runs Carmel?
I know. I doubt it. It would be funny though.
Somebody's gonna get a hold of him and be like,
he can just go do his. He can just go do like a easy run and win it. just because.
Remember, it's just a training day.
Just a training day. Runs 2:10, 2:15. Easy day. This was interesting too. He trained himself. He ran 90 to 110 miles a week. And by the way, because it was a rough Midwest winter, 90% of his training was on a treadmill.
Yuck.
How crazy is that? Double threshold days, easy runs progressing to 5:40 pace. That's one thing he said. He does not do the, I don't know, what people call sluggish or throwaway miles. He doesn't do that. He does do easier days, but he does not do the super slow pace stuff that we talked about. I shouldn't say he doesn't. I think he does not do as much. He does a very minimal amount of that. As this says, his easy runs, quote unquote, progress to a 5:40 pace, which for him would be pretty easy. Focused on better fueling than in college. That was one thing. Additionally, I'm going to forget the amount and type of fuel. I did read that as well. This was interesting. He said he went into the race thinking, maybe 2:09, 2:10. Maybe if it was a really perfect day, 2:08. And he said when he came around the finish line, because you come up that little, at Glass City, you run into, the stadium?
The Mud Hens, I think.
No, it's not the Mud Hens.
It's not?
No, it's
it's a college show, right?
The college, but the Mud Hens is the AAA team down there. But at any rate, the university there, Toledo, whatever it is. Toledo, the university there in Toledo. University of Toledo, that's it. You run up into the stadium, and he said when he came around the corner, he could see it, and it said 2:05. He was actually shocked. He said, man, it just blew him away.
Because that's a weird, how you come in, because you come down that hill, and you kind of you have to go up a little bit to get into the stadium.
Little killer of a hill right there.
It sucks.
Yeah.
It's enough to
It's enough that your legs are that shaky that you kind of fall forward on. You're like, whoa.
And then you hit the track and it's a little spongy and it kind of takes your legs away a little bit.
The speed goes away a little bit. Yeah. So yeah, he blew away his own expectations and became one of the fastest Americans ever.
I ran, one of my fastest races there too. It was only
you can relate.
It was only an hour and
20 minutes behind.
Hour and 20 minutes behind them, but yeah. It was it was hard coming in there like that.
It was. So yeah, pretty cool. In 2 cities, London and Toledo. London for the perfect setup, global spotlight, best in the world. Showed up there and broke 2 hours. Toledo, local race, last minute pivot, and no spotlight, no pacers, all by himself for 25-ish miles. And he kills it and runs his way into hopefully a blossoming career in marathon running. Let us know what you think of these stories. Give us some comments below. I think it's just super exciting in marathon running on so many levels.
It is marathon season, though.
It is. It is now.
Yeah.
Right now. But that is going to wrap up this episode of the I Don't Know Running podcast. Be sure to tune in next time as we share more about what we just don't know.
Until then, happy running.